Holy, you guys came at us hard when we were giving you all this juicy information about the recent tax change.
There's a lot of stuff going on and it is not good, but we have you covered. We are here for you and we're going to give you some really good advice. So stay tuned, listen to us as we break down updated news for you guys.
Things have been changing daily, but I think we have hot off the press information that is the final, hopefully.
Yeah, something like that until there's a whole bunch of lawsuits commenting. Yeah. All right. So essentially we're talking about the taxes that are shifting in New Jersey. The taxes are referring to people who are buying or selling a house. Let us break down what happened and what we were reporting on Friday, just to tell you what bill was just signed. It was signed by Governor Murphy officially signed last night. So Jacqueline, tell them what has transpired.
Okay. So as we all know, the buyer, anything over $1 million, the buyer was always responsible for paying 1.1% mansion tax
on the entire purchase.
On the entire purchase of any home over $1 million.
Mansion.
Number one, if you live in New Jersey, specifically Bergen County, towns that have great school systems in close proximity to the city, we all know that $1 million in New Jersey does not get you a mansion.
There are a lot of counties. Actually, we pay some of the highest taxes in multiple counties in the entire country, actually.
Yes.
So that was the mansion tax. It's 1% on the entire purchase. And the sellers were responsible for another 1 point.
Yes. For the transfer tax.
For the transfer tax. So that's kind of the way the law of the land worked. And then everything changed because New Jersey is broke and they decided to use the housing market as their personal ATM. That's just my opinion. Yay, New Jersey. All right. So let's go through. But the questions have come up on what happens to homes that are currently under contract, what happens to homes that are closing after a date that was out there of July 10th, who's paying it, who's not paying it. And this is what's been causing us a lot of anxiety and a lot of home sellers right now that are under contract. In fact, we've heard some sellers tell us that buyers are trying to push the contract so that they don't have to pay the mansion tax. So this is what's been going on over the last few days. It's really actually been very upsetting. We've been on the phone nonstop. So we think this is going to be the standard. But as always, you guys, please check with your own attorneys, check with your own title companies, because it might be different for you, but this is the information that we have. So let us break down what they're saying now, sort of the carve out for houses that are currently under contract and are closing before July 10th.
The buyer will still be responsible for the 1% mansion tax on the sale price.
Nothing changes.
This is not for you.
This is not for you.
For people who did not watch our previous video, when Stacey says elevated rate, what she's referring to is in addition to the tax being transferred to the seller, there's also now buckets. So between $1 million and $2 million, it stays at 1%. The 1% is paid by the seller. If it's between $2 million and 2.5, that goes up to 2%. That's now required to be paid by the seller. Between 2.5 and 3, 2.5%, 3 million to 3.5, 3, and anything over 3.5 million, 3.5% mansion tax. Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot for a lot of people. Anyway, I also want to tell you guys, like, this is also applying to commercial properties. So it's not just residential properties. Okay. So what we just covered is essentially if you guys are pending, if you're under contract and your house is going to close before July 10th, we just covered you there. The buyer still pays the mansion tax. Let's go into what do we do for transactions that are closing after July 10th?
On or after
July 10th. But you are already pending. You're already in an executed contract, but your house is not closing. Your house is not closing before July 10th. So changes that occur, ready? Closings that occur on or after July 10th will require the new mansion tax to be collected from the seller. If the closing is pursuant to a contract that was fully executed, that means if the contract is pending before July 9th and the deed is recorded before Saturday, November 15th, the buyer is still responsible for the 1%. That is the big thing we were waiting to hear, you guys. It's a carve out. It's a carve out. So all of you buyers who thought that this was going to mean that the 1% you thought you had to pay, even if you don't close, even if you were going to wait to close after July 10th, therefore that 1% would now have to shift to the sellers. Not happening anymore.
Yes. So buyer is still required to pay the 1%. Now the difference here for you sellers who are under contract on your home that is over $2 million, you are responsible for paying the difference. So the buyer is going to pay 1%. If you're between 2 and 2.5, you're going to pay 1%, and then you're going to
be eligible for a refund for the additional fees paid in excess of the 1% old mansion tax upon submission of a claim for a refund. The seller must file this claim with the Division of Taxation within 1 year of recording the deed.
So you will be eligible for a refund for the difference. Thanks
Yeah.
for finishing my sentence there.
You're
Like you
welcome.
almost knew.
I
That
appreciate
was
that. I
really
knew what
good.
you were gonna say. Yeah, yeah. So I think we just covered the big questions we were getting, and it's been super stressful. A lot of people trying to navigate this, but there's a lot of movement here, and of course it's all over holiday weekend, and they're trying to get this done literally overnight. There's no grace period here. There are just carve outs that we're just explaining. I just think now more than ever it is so important that if you're buying or selling a house, that you are working strategically with somebody who knows what's going on, who's on top of it. And of course for you sellers, this is a big question. I mean, it's for people over $2 million. It's going to be more important than ever to maximize the value of your house and talk strategically about how those costs are going to play into the sale of your house. So as always, we are here for you. We're happy to come and chat with you about what your plans are and how this affects you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
See you soon.